Once again, this is Merle Rutledge, the 2021 candidate for governor of Virginia. Once again, let me start this off. God is good all the time. Once again, I repeat that God is good all of the time. Now, if you want President Donald J. Trump to continue being the president of the United States of America, give me a oh hell yeah. As I hear y'all getting louder and y'all getting fired up, let me repeat that. If you want President Donald J. Trump to continue being president of the United States of America and to continue making America great again, give me a hell yeah. Now, as I hear all of y'all getting fired up, let me go ahead and tell you why Michelle Obama gave out the perfect case for why we need President Donald J. Trump to be the president of the United States, moving this country forward, making it great again, keeping it great again, and making sure America's believe that we will overcome any adversary that comes at us. And that's exactly the type of leadership that we need moving forward. Now, Michelle Obama gave out an amazing speech. I give her credit. Now, it sounded good, and it definitely came from the heart. However, she mentioned the word empathy, which means to understand what others go through. Donald J. Trump has shown leadership, which everyone should know empathy comes in its core attributes. Now, you got to understand, God calls us to get the job done. But he didn't tell President Donald J. Trump, he didn't tell others that follow in his word that they had to be polite. No, they didn't. But God knows. God knows the right leadership that is needed during a time of crisis and in a pandemic. Leadership comes with being different, having a vision, taking the risk, empathy, and motivating yourself and others to finish a job. And that's exactly what President Donald J. Trump has shown throughout his presidency. Too bad Michelle Obama's eyes and the lenses that she used were so narrow that she lost sight of the big picture. Now, I understand Michelle Obama thinks Biden has empathy, but she failed to mention anything else that Biden can do. That comes with the job of being president of the United States of America. Donald J. Trump sweared that he will support and defend the Constitution of the United States against all enemies, foreign and domestic. That he will bear the faith and allegiance to the same. That he takes this obligation freely, without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion, and that I will well and faithfully discharge the duties of the office on which he is about to enter. So help me God. In no way did it say that only applied to white America. It didn't say it applied to white America. It didn't say it applied to black America, blue America, or whatever America. It applied to being the president of the United States of America and protecting and defending American citizens from all enemies, foreign or domestic. It applied to everyone in America. And it didn't say to do it just because of the color of somebody's skin. It was the content of the character that President Donald J. Trump exemplified during a time of crisis. Everyone in America is having a hard time and struggling to meet basic needs. It's not just one group, it's not one background, it's not one race. It is everybody struggling, but everybody is working together to get us past the struggle. The fact is, it takes leadership to bring that together. And that's what President Donald J. Trump has been doing, has been bringing Americans together and having the conversation that has long been ignored here in America. The freedom to get to know each other, the freedom to agree to disagree, the freedom to be who you want to be, the freedom to have opportunity and not have it handed to you. Maybe he gave out a strong hammer, but the fact is he nailed it into America's fabric and to everybody in America's spirit and soul that America fights back. And that's why I keep saying, if you want President Donald J. Trump to continue doing the job, give me a hell yeah. Now, as I continue on to what is really going on here with Michelle Obama and the DNC machine that is attacking President Donald J. Trump. See, Michelle Obama talked about empathy, but I'm going to talk to you about the hypocrisy. The hypocrisy of those who has tried to stand in the way of progress. Those who has tried to attack but won't take on the job which you are attacking President Donald J. Trump over. See, there's a lot of hypocrisy, and I'm going to make it clear today that President Donald J. Trump has been one of the best American presidents that we have ever seen, and he is going to continue in November and beyond making America great again. So don't even think that the polls is talking accurate, because when's the last time you had a poll? Now, every American sacrifice to make their lives better and for their families. This job is hard, and it does require clear-headed judgment. Biden doesn't have leadership, and at this time, we must weigh his judgment. The presidency doesn't change who you are or reveal who you are. You are who you are, regardless of the office or the title. This has been the problem, that we don't find out who someone is, Michelle Obama, until after they make us regret our decision for finding out too late. And America can't afford to be late during a time like this. President Trump has been who he is long before he ever secured the presidency of the United States of America. Making deals at the boardroom to being a champion for civil rights and being awarded by leaders like Jesse Jackson, Al Sharpton, get the hypocrisy, and more for the work he has done for the people all across America. He has also been given the Humanitarian Award. He has also been given the Tree of Life Award by the Jewish National Foundation. He has been given the Ellis Island Award given to Trump, Rosa Parks, and Muhammad Ali. He also was given the Muhammad Ali Entrepreneur Award. He was also given the medal by the Freedom Foundation for his support of youth progress. He was also given the Unicorn Children's Foundation Shining Star Award. He was also given the Presidential Hero Award by the Louis Pope Light Foundation. And in 2015, he was given the Al-Jamina Liberty Award for contributions to Israel and United States relationships. That tells you a lot about what the media doesn't want you to know. But it's time for people to also find out exactly why the president was already ready to be president a long time ago. The thing is, your empathy, Michelle Obama, sounds more like jealousy. In 1990, Reverend Jesse Jackson lauded Trump as a friend to minorities and underserved communities. This was in 1990. Jackson expressed appreciation for Trump's support of the Rainbow Push Coalition initiative called the Wall Street Project, which aimed to help minority-owned businesses. See, there's a lot of smoke and mirrors when it comes down to people really speaking about who's the best fit for President of the United States of America. But there's a difference between President Donald Trump, who wasn't a politician, getting the job done, outside the establishment, getting the job done. But we have seen Joe Biden, what he has done. Now, 4 years later, the state of the nation is very, very much different. And you're right, Michelle Obama. It is very much different. President Trump helped to save lives in America against a disease which you mentioned by being transparent with different treatment that saved lives. Some of those lives that were saved by President Trump was including Democrats like your brothers and sisters from all walks of life. Millions and millions of lives have been saved by President Donald J. Trump's leadership and response to this pandemic, including a Democratic state representative from Detroit, which credited hydrochloroquine and President Donald J. Trump for touting the drug for saving her in the battle with coronavirus. Had it not been for President Donald J. Trump championing America to fight back against coronavirus to courage, not fear, which is her name, says she was familiar with the wonders of hydrochloroquine from an earlier bout with Lyme disease, but does not believe she would have thought to ask for it or her doctor would have prescribed it had Trump not been touted it as a possible treatment for COVID-19. Every day, President Trump sees millions and millions of people recover every day from this disease. Democrats like Nevada governor banned hydrochloroquine at a time that was much needed. New York governor sent people with coronavirus to nursing homes, killing thousands of people and killing thousands more. Did Michelle Obama mention that anywhere in the speech about us selling her own party for their own response to coronavirus? Because it seems like they practice in death. President Trump gave us the right to fight for life. That's exactly what being pro-life, but exactly what it means to fight for everybody here in America, to fight for the ability to see another day and fight in God's will. But it seems like every single chance that Democrats got to go ahead and screw up America, every chance they got to weaken the response. Can you explain that, Michelle Obama, what your colleagues did for the coronavirus response? Because I know what Joe Biden did. He stayed silent. President Donald J. Trump, was a man of action. A man that wasn't scared to tell the world, this is how we fight. Because he'd rather see you fight than to know he had knowledge and did not distribute it across America to make sure he curbed the fight with coronavirus. Notice there's more coronavirus infections, but it's a lot of less mortality or deaths because of Donald J. Trump's leadership, which Michelle Obama should have noted in that speech. But it's okay. You said empathy. I'm showing you your empathy is hypocrisy. Now, we have that going on. Now, President Trump stayed loud about telling governors that needed their state to have leadership and to show toughness during the time of a pandemic and also during times of riots. Now, South Dakota. Yes, South Dakota I'm going to mention because South Dakota has been showing the leadership all across the country that President Donald J. Trump has told other governors to start showing the leadership to practice, encourage, not intimidate your citizens and more with fear. Now, South Dakota, that governor, Republican, refused to close her state and to restrict her citizens' constitutional rights and freedoms. She refused. She refused to harbor the fear that others have been giving out all across America. She chose the fact that she swore to uphold the laws of the United States Constitution and the South Dakota Constitution. And it didn't mean to restrict your basic rights and freedoms regardless of this pandemic. It meant for us to keep them and know that we still had the ability to believe that America still works for us and it won't work for politics. Exactly the leadership that President Donald J. Trump has tried to instill, but other governors have been too weak. Maybe the Democratic Party lacked empathy because they was too busy trying to put their citizens in a prison and close small business and take away people's rights. Donald J. Trump wanted us to stay free. Now, echoing the leadership in South Dakota was another Republican out of the state of Georgia, Governor Kemp. Yes, Governor Kemp. Now, Governor Kemp faced criticism all over the place, even from the Atlanta mayor, which was another Democrat, who Joe Biden stayed silent, saying if you reopen the state, we will face death and more by doing so. And then a few weeks later, the Atlanta mayor said, "Oh, I apologize. I did not know this was going to work out." That's because we have President Donald J. Trump instilling leadership and not fear that the Democrats have been practicing all over this country. Georgia has the kids back in school, back to normal, back with the same conditions that everybody has all across America, and they are doing it well. They are being the model. South Dakota, Georgia, and the rest of the country is being the model of what it takes to make sure we protect your freedom. We protect your rights. And we will not bow down to foreign agents like China. We will not bow down to domestic terrorists like BLM and Antifa, who have destroyed the streets and have made a mockery of exactly the meaning of peaceful protests. And we have seen the leadership that President Donald J. Trump has said is the strength in America, the strength in these states to come back. But too bad we got cowards and politicians that don't know no better because they haven't been where President Donald J. Trump has been. They haven't been where Republican governors have been. They haven't had the conservative leadership and wisdom that President Donald J. Trump and these governors and the Republican Party has exerted throughout this pandemic. Too bad the liberal media won't cover it. because they spending more time like Michelle Obama and everybody else talking about the bad in the president instead of talking about how great the president of the United States of America, Donald J. Trump, has been to America, and he has delivered on promises made and promises kept, and that's exactly the type of leadership we need for our generations moving forward. That you say that you are going to do something, you deliver. That's exactly what President Donald J. Trump is practicing and preaching all across the United States of America. Now, they are showing the nation how to reopen and go on about life. But I'm sorry if your colleagues, Michelle Obama, doesn't have that same understanding as you. Now, the economy is in shambles because governors have become weak and so distant from reality that they have allowed their states to be run by criminals, which has made us all worse off and unsafe. Too many are worried about rent and basic necessities at this time, but they also got worried about walking out their front door to even make it to work to even address those problems. However, too many governors are worried about funding illegals on state budgets as this pandemic crushed their budgets. What kind of leadership feels that they have the ambition and the outreach and the budget to handle other countries' problems? We didn't make the problem, nor shall America be responsible for fixing it. That's what America is all about, and that's what President Donald J. Trump has focused on. Now, the problem is these politicians fear their own lives. They're older. They got more pre-existing conditions. But it seems like your condition has made for a depression for everybody else in the United States of America. That's why we need those term limits, which President Donald J. Trump has also preached. Because maybe if we had a group of congressional members and those in state, house, and senate delegates, or whatever you may call you, maybe if they was without some of those pre-existing conditions, maybe if they was more in tune with what is going on in America, being out there on the streets, not just in their home, maybe you can understand exactly what's really going on, that this virus wasn't about protecting and saving lives for Democrats. It was about port barrel projects and exerting power that should have never been exerted by those tyrants in liberal states. Because that's been the problem. Drunk on power like Nancy Pelosi. Drunk on power like Chuck Schumer. And speaking on behalf of America that didn't ask y'all to speak for them. Because America can speak for itself. And that's the point that President Donald J. Trump has been making. I've been speaking on behalf of those that have been silent, but that silent majority has made sure they have spoke on behalf of their households and saying exactly, regardless of what's going on out there, we know President Donald J. Trump is the best man for the job, and we need to make sure we have fellow patriots ready to back him up when the time calls, because the time is coming soon, in a few months, to see what we are all made of, to see the direction of where this country is going to go to. Is it going to go to a democratic hell, or will it go towards us becoming a better America? Now, on to the next part, because I always like to go after what somebody says. Empathy. Let's continue that. Now, they probably wouldn't even know the definition even after her speech. Because see, Black Lives Matter didn't matter much to Obama. So let's go there. Unemployment for our racial group was the lowest in recorded history. Black wages were rapidly increasing for the first time in decades. And people who have been out of work long term were being hired and suddenly able to take care of their families and go on vacations for the first time in years. The Trump policy made it possible. Tax cut and rocketing GDP growth meant companies were feeling financially stable for the first time in a decade, and public confidence in our economy has never been higher. For example, how Biden has destroyed these same communities that are thriving under President Donald J. Trump. And let us get this started. Biden helped author, when he was a senator, incentivized local police departments to lock up as many black people as possible, creating mass incarceration of African Americans, along with more prison cells and more aggressive policing. In record, a rule that treated crack cocaine as significantly worse than powder cocaine and ended up disproportionately punishing African Americans and sending them to prison, but sparing white Americans who typically use cocaine. Now, Trump's recent police reform executive order, the First Step Act, released thousands of people from jail, 90% of whom were black. He has promoted opportunity zones that incentivize private investment into marginalized communities and also increased federal funding to historically black colleges and universities by 17%, a total exceeding $100 million, more than any other president in American history. Meanwhile, the Obama administration infamously removed a 2-year Bush administration program that annually funded $85 million directly to HBCUs. That's something a lot of people don't know. But that's why I said empathy may be hypocrisy for you, Michelle Obama. Now, Portland is under attack daily. Biden stays silent. Richmond, VA is under attack daily. Biden stays silent. Chicago is under attack every single day. Biden stays silent. We've seen too many silent when it's controversy and loud when they want to accept good news. President Trump has to deal with good and bad news here in America. At least America knows where President Trump is, because we surely can say where Biden is. I don't need to preach, but I'm only going to speak the reality. I'm only going to speak the facts that Michelle Obama decided not to lay out in that speech. Now, President Trump has delivered for Americans in ways the Obama and Biden administration never has. Michelle's definition of empathy sounds more like jealousy. President Trump is advocating for all of our constitutional rights and freedoms against tyrannical Democratic governors. It doesn't say just Black Lives Matter. It doesn't say just White Lives Matter. President Trump has been representing that American lives matter, and he's going to do what's best for America. Now, Biden has been clear that he supports all restrictions and suppressions of our constitutional rights for political posturing, which our president doesn't cater to. He's too real. All communities are in danger when dangerous criminals are let free to prey on Americans. That's why liberal governors like the one in California ready to set free 8,500 more dangerous criminals. But Michelle Obama, where's the empathy in that one? Because, see, it's one thing for President Donald J. Trump to understand Americans and to have empathy. But what empathy do Biden and the governor of California and the rest who release these dangerous criminals have for law-abiding citizens? Do you understand the fear that law-abiding citizens have for those who we thought was going to serve justice? Because the real injustice is to the American citizens doing the right thing here in America. But you don't have empathy for that, because if you did, you would know better than to know that President Donald J. Trump doesn't have empathy. The problem is empathy within your own party, and that's called hypocrisy. I'm just speaking real because I can, because it is what it is. Now, racism, Michelle Obama, has never been the problem, but you stoke the flames of racism in your speech. See, the biggest form of racism played on everyone wasn't about skin tone. It was the invisible form of racism that still lingers. It is in our educational system. When we never enacted in law a guaranteed right to an education to find, learn, and discover information, it takes information and knowledge to learn any skill or trade. Those that suppressed it was really the true slave owners and put a price on it. Americans spend billions on an education to learn a job that they very well could have taught themselves. Someone had to teach them to be a doctor or a lawyer. Damn sure you can't be your own teacher and lawyer by teaching yourself. Politicians told you that you couldn't teach yourself, just like back in the day you could be harmed or killed for getting yourself an education. Remember that in history, when the price of an education and teaching others meant your death. Michelle Obama, you talk about history, but that history should be remembered by you especially. However, it still took you to pass tests and learn the knowledge that was passed down to you. However, it always came at a price. They made people afraid and penalized them for teaching themselves. This is the reason why we have permits and certificates of completion of training. Now we have Facebook. We forgot that the training had to be self-taught, because someone had to teach the teacher or pass down the information to teach and learn from yourself. God made the perfect image and still showing everyone how he's still in control. We couldn't believe that America can overcome if we are not reminded that we can from all things. Democrats had to take God out the equation as much as they wanted to take their history away from everyone's memory. The only thing holding us back is us. The lessons that the left doesn't want you to know. That's because they've been taught the consequences if we do know. Freedom has always been and always based on the freedom of knowledge. This is the way to know when you're really free and when you're really are not. If someone can teach you, you damn sure can teach yourself. Only the government told you that it was wrong. But that was a practice that Democrats started. Republicans just made sure that practice no longer occurred here in America. This is the way to know the difference between the politicians and those who are really struggling with exactly what's going on here in America. Politicians have been taught not to care and to be far away from their districts. They also was taught to be close by only in the election year. This is why we need the term limits, just in case both forgot to stay on top of each other. This way, if they lose their seat and become reelected, they remember exactly how they lost it. It was because politicians forgot who got them elected. It's not just taking them as long to make you remember. It was by the people, and you better be for the people. Obama said, yes, we can. Because the biggest blow to America and its youth, we found out how much we can't under Biden's leadership before. We don't need another generation learning how we can't under the smoke and mirrors of yes, we can. Now, internationally, the U.S. is no longer being bullied by China and other countries such as North Korea. Our relationships are stronger than ever. We used to be scared to hear about North Korea going to war with us or pulling out a preemptive attack. Now it's a forgotten memory because of Trump's willingness to confront the danger and not appease it. Countries respect strength, not weakness, in America's leadership. President Trump changed the playbook on all these countries. President Trump became a father of a nation for those young people that was causing disturbances in this new civil rights movement. As fathers, we are supposed to keep our children safe and guide them to be law-abiding citizens. Many of these children lack a solid head of household that did the looting and crimes here in America. These troublemakers and Antifa-minded groups heard the message from President Donald J. Trump loud and clearly that playtime is over. A father will come down hard on their children to keep them from screwing up their lives while you, Michelle Obama, and President Obama, former one, kept promoting the destruction of America. So where was your empathy for law-abiding citizens? But it seemed like you had empathy for criminal behaviors that harm innocent people. So you see the hypocrisy of where your empathy comes from. So see, President Trump may consider himself as a law and order president. He also became a father to a nation. Those from broken homes, those who lacked both parents in the household, those who had problems with troubled youth, those who had a problem meeting basic needs and necessities while dealing with a child that may be out of control. But everybody listens to President Donald J. Trump, and when he said it was going to get serious and real, they believed him. But I don't believe they would believe Joe Biden under the same terms, because America would be a lot worse off right now had it not been for President Donald J. Trump's leadership and saying enough is enough. Now, every problem America faced under the Obama and Biden administration seems to magically show itself up in the last year of President Donald J. Trump's first term. Doesn't it? It disappeared in the last 3 years under Trump. Now, it's easy to point the finger than to take on responsibility to fix the problem. Michelle Obama was offered the opportunity to try to be vice president or even president, since she knows so much. She knew she couldn't handle the job. And she shouldn't be who America goes to for advice or who can do the job. I say this a lot to include my own party. Too many can say what others should do, but few will take on the role of being in charge. They don't fit that role of leadership, so it shouldn't be your role to address what leadership is. And that's the point. Obama keeps saying Trump doesn't know how to struggle. Well, if taking on everyone in America's problems isn't a struggle, then maybe those that claim to know struggle should really see the definition of it in being president of the United States of America. And that's why I continue to say, if you want President Trump to continue doing the job, please give me a whole hell yeah. Now, Michelle was right about John Lewis' quote. And I have all the respect for John Lewis. Yes, I do. Now, she said, as she quoted, when you see something that is not right, not fair, not just, you have to speak up. You have to say something. You have to do something. I see Democratic governors and Democratic controlled cities. That's not right. That's not fair. Not just. And I feel that Trump had to speak up. I feel that every American has to speak up. We are glad that he did, and he did so for America and everybody in America. That's the point you're missing, Michelle Obama. That's the point. We are seeing the difference between how we used to live and how we should live as Americans. It's okay to be successful. It's okay to work hard for whatever you want. It's okay to be yourself. It's okay to go after your dreams. It's okay to be proud of America. It's okay to fight for America. It's okay to love one another. It's okay to put God, country, and family first. It's not okay for people like you to stand in America's way. Obama, it's okay to admit that President Trump should continue to be the president of the United States of America. It's because you said every reason why Biden shouldn't. And that's the reason why I'm supporting President Donald J. Trump for President of the United States to continue making this country great again and again and again. Is because exactly I see something not right and I have to speak up and I refuse to stay silent. And like I said, if you want to continue seeing President Donald J. Trump be a president of the United States of America, give him a hell yeah. Vote for him in November. Vote for him now. Vote for him anywhere. Stand in line. Do exactly what Americans do. And that's exactly say and continue to say and continue to act in the best interest of this country and the best interest of this country for all Americans, regardless of race, regardless of background, is to say that the character and the actions and the leadership of President Donald J. Trump must continue onward and forward, and we must live out the American dream that Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. has always encouraged throughout time, and many civil rights leaders before and after him, that we all should be judged by the content of our character, not the color of our skin. We should not bow down to one supremacy to hold over another supremacy. We must not give up, and we must not bow down to those who try to destroy us. And that's exactly what America has always been about, and that's exactly why I will continue to support our president of the United States of America, not because of what he looks like, because I had to speak up. It wasn't right to allow you to continue bashing the man that has continued to work through all struggles, has continued to work through all pandemics, has continued to work through all catastrophes, has continued to work and continues to grind and continues to push to make sure America becomes great again. My name is Merle Rutledge, and yes, I'm running for 2021 Virginia governor, but still at the same time frame, it takes me acting in the best interest of Virginia, and I know what's in the best interest of America. And that's exactly why President Donald J. Trump is the right man for the job. And that's why Joe Biden isn't. I had to speak up. It is what it is.